The incident that caused me to take a redirection of my life was the birth of my oldest daughter. I was a teen mom, 17 years old, moving back in with my dad. My dad decided, you can't stay here because you can't have a baby in my house. Okay, Dad, where I'm gonna go? Dad sends me to brother, my oldest brother. My oldest brother has 3 daughters, and here I am, pregnant. At 17, my mom was in rehab at that time. My dad had decided, again, I don't want to have nothing to do with you and this baby. Especially because I wouldn't marry. Our older generation assumes that because we're pregnant, we need to marry into the family because you'll be stable that way. That's not always the case, however. So I think that living with my brother and his family, they gave me a little foundation, but not much because him and his wife ended up separating. And then he says, now you have to go, you have to leave too. So here I am. At this point, I'd already had her, January of 1995. So sorry about that. I'd had her. My brother says, you have to go. Here I am at Humble High School, 11th grade, and now I have a baby. Mom's in rehab. I have nowhere to go. At that point, I fell into a relationship with a much older man. He was an uncle of one of my friends, much older than I was. But he put us up in a hotel. I did not like him at all, but I had no other choice. I had no other options at that point. And so here I am with my little baby, living in a hotel. My mom gets out of rehab. She's living in the hotel with us on the opposite side, and she's working there as a janitor. So her room is free. So she eventually gets to a housing unit. Went to live with my mom when she got her place established, and so I decided, okay, I can't. This life is not going to be what I'm going to give to my child. And so at that point, I determined I got to do something. I got to figure something out, but I had no high school diploma. So that for me started a transition where I had to take steps into getting to where I thought I needed to be for a better life for myself and my child. And so I ended up getting a GED from Houston Community College and going into work at a beauty, I enrolled in a beauty school, Franklin Beauty School, as a matter of fact. And so when I enrolled in Franklin, I was there. While I was there, I had met another young man who then at that point fathered my second daughter. So here I am, 19, with 2 kids. He and I were in a relationship. He was very, very, very controlling, very, very, very controlling, very manipulative. And so 19, and he is 27. And so, when you just don't have a choice, you have to do what you need to do for stability. So I didn't get to finish beauty school because I had my daughter, my second daughter at that point. So I was gonna go back, and then in the midst of that transition, me going back to school, I ended up separating from him because I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do you can't go outside, you can't be on the phone, you need to be, it was a very tough situation for me to be in at the age of 19. I think I stayed with him up until I was 21. And so I didn't get to finish school because I separated from him. I didn't have a car. And I had to take my kids and get an apartment making minimum wage, trying to afford an apartment, trying to work, and I couldn't go back to school. So I had to keep going. I couldn't stop. I didn't have any support. At that point, my mom was in my life, but she was had found, actually was dating a guy, and they were together, and so they were on drugs. And so I didn't have a support system from my mom. She was still running the streets. So I just pushed. I pushed and I pushed. But that was the starting point for me. That was where it all where I realized hey, we gotta shift. What I was looking for and what I wanted at that time, I didn't know. I just know I didn't want my kids to endure what I had to endure. I knew I did not want to be a number in the system of welfare and food stamps, and I didn't want my kids to be in child protective services, and I didn't want to be on drugs, and I didn't want those things. But as far as what I wanted for me, those were the things that I wanted. Well, I guess that could be what I wanted or what I didn't want. But what I wanted more so than anything was just love. From family, from friends. I looked for it in so many times in the wrong places. So I think that's what I really, really needed at that point. And support, just a supporting network, just to give me that. I guess I endorsed the friendships that I had, the people that came into my life that were genuine. I gravitated to them for guidance, for support. One young lady came into my life. Her name was Tony. I was living in an apartment with my daughters. And she was going to TSU, Texas Southern University. And I was like, I want to go to school. She was like, I can help you. That was it. She was my key into getting into college. And so I went to medical assistant school. During this time, I lost my brother. He was 21 years old. So that was devastating for me. He was my little brother. So he was the only one that we grew up together. So we were very, very close. So I lost him. And so everything in life for me just took a stop. I paused, school, everything. I was like, I gotta deal with this. I couldn't deal with it because I lost my brother. So it was tough losing him. He was murdered, and so that was tough. So here I am again, trying to get past it, grow past it, and end up enrolling in TSU. And I finished TSU. Finished school. Started working in various medical facilities, and decided I wanted to do more. I still wanted more at that point because medical assistant was a opening door for me, and then getting my bachelor's was a better opportunity, but it still wasn't enough. So I went back for my master's, and so I did a master's in counseling. I still got things I want to do. So although getting my degrees were a very good achievement for me, I wanted to make sure my kids were raised and that they, were able to thrive. Both of my daughters did graduate high school. And so and then I had a son. I ended up getting married while I was at TSU. I got married, and we had a son. So I still, to me, haven't celebrated myself. I think once I've always lived in survival mode. So I don't think I came out of survival mode until I don't know. I may be still in it somehow, but I think that I was able to be more stable once my children got in high school, and I think that I went through a divorce from my son's father in 2009. And here I am back single. Now I have 3 kids, and I'm back single. Stable, what that looks like to me is no shifting is taking place. And I'm always thinking about shifting in some type of way. So when I think about being stable, I think about securing a job for a while, same job, or maybe same field, same home, same husband, same, that's what I think about when I think about stability. And that hasn't been my thing yet. I'm not married. Divorced in 2009, I haven't gotten remarried since then. Haven't found my forever home yet. But I have been in the same industry for a while. I've been, in the public health industry for a while. So when I think about how I started and where I am now, I think about the little girl that I left behind, the little girl that I outgrew, the little girl that was scared to talk, the little girl that was scared just to be seen, the little girl that was scared to advocate for herself. I left her. She's still a part of me, but I can put her down and be me. Advocate for myself. I can talk for myself. I can make decisions for myself. I'm not the fearful young lady that I was about just meeting people and trusting people. I'm not her no more, and so I've outgrown her. And when I've outgrown her, she's always a part of me. My inner child is always a part of me. But I can see the difference of how I then to now. What can I celebrate about myself? It would probably just be me. I overcame so many things that people said that I wouldn't overcome. My parents, my dad, they didn't think that I would overcome. They didn't think that I would be successful. They didn't think, they just thought that I would just be this little girl who would always be, running in the streets. And I showed them wrong. I showed everybody who thought differently of me wrong. I showed everybody who thought that I wasn't going to shift and become greater. They were wrong. So that's what I can celebrate. The fact that, not that I needed their approval, but I did need. That strengthened me to do more, to want to become more. And so I can celebrate that in myself, that I didn't let those naysayers keep me down. I didn't let those naysayers, their disbelief in me, I didn't let that form a hatred, even for them. I didn't hate them. I just didn't understand why they would not support or not try to push. I still have that same afterthought. Nobody can tell me that I can't have or I won't have, because I know that if I want it and I work for it, I can have it. So that I can say that I've never given up on myself, and I never will. I'm my biggest supporter. Really, I am. Yeah, it'll have to be me. Again, I push myself. I challenge myself. I don't take too many no's for an answer. I'm gonna keep pushing. It's just, I'm my biggest supporter. I mean, I don't tell a lot of people my life story, but it's me. And that man upstairs, he's all I got, So it's been by my side every step of the way. The reason I haven't failed, the reason I won't fail and I can't fail. So I guess that'd be my biggest supporter. But I do have friends that stand behind me. I keep them close. I hold them very dear to my heart. So I have Brandy. Brandy lives in Dallas. She's really a big supporter of mine. My biggest supporter. So yeah. What I've learned about myself is that I am resilient. Is that the characteristics that have been placed in me to keep going, to keep thriving, I have those. And that's what keeps me going every day. Life has taken turns, and I've spun out of control, and I've come back and realized, hey, what are you doing? This is not what we're supposed to be doing. Let's get back on track. So I've lost a lot, I've gained a lot. So resiliency is what I would say as far as myself. What have I learned about God? Man. He's faithful. He's faithful. He's faithful. Has never left my side. Has always been able to go back to his word and live on it, stand on it. I look forward to actually standing on platforms and talking to women, talking to young ladies, to help them build resiliency and persevering through their life triumphs. I look forward to one day being able to go travel the world to do that. If not travel the world, just be on larger platforms to do that. I look forward to being able to touch young lives, young ladies and young men's lives that are experienced incarcerated parents on drugs, parents that have abandoned them, parents that didn't love them, teenage moms, sexual assault victims. That was my life as well. Being able to touch those lives, I look forward to that one day. Look forward to that light being brighter as I continue to grow in my grow and again shift in my own life.